Greetings, Neuse Little Pod listeners. This is your host, Matt Gore, reminding you to please like, follow, subscribe, and share the podcast on your available podcast apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and any other podcast app you can think of. Share our episodes on Facebook and let us know what you think with a comment or review. Now, please enjoy the show. Good evening and welcome to Neuse Little Podcast. This is an audio program talking about the backstage antics and stories of running a small-town community theater on the banks of the Neuse River located in Smithfield, North Carolina. We lovingly refer to the old girl as the Hut. We hope you enjoy. Good evening and welcome to Neuse Little Podcast. We have yet another very special episode for you. Today I have with me 6 very special ladies and also Mita. And no, I'm just kidding. 7 such special ladies. I'm the only guy up here today, so it's kind of like ladies' corner here today. But we are going to go around and talk about the brand new show that we have opening up at Neuse Little Theater. It is called the Charitable Sisterhood Christmas Spectacular, and that is a comedy by Bo Wilson, and it's going to go up November 10th, 11th, and 12th, and then the following weekend on the 17th and 18th. November 10th, 11th, 17th, and 18th are Friday and Saturday shows that start at 8 o'clock, and the November 12th is a Sunday matinee which starts at 3. To reserve your tickets, please call 919-934-1873 to reserve those tickets. We're working on online reservations. It's something that's coming down the pipe, but just for now, call that number, reserve your seat, and come see this really funny show. All right, I'm excited to talk to these people. I know almost everybody here, so let's introduce ourselves. Sitting across the table from me is...
Hi, I'm Stephanie Veren, director of this production.
And then sitting next to her...
I am Nancy Gibbs.
Appearing on her second or third time on this show. I can't remember.
I think it's my second time.
All right. But sitting next to her for her first time on the podcast is...
Sheila Lane.
Welcome. And sitting next to her is...
Emily Snow.
And coming back for at least her third or fourth time on the podcast is...
Theressa Rose.
And at least her third time... No, maybe...
Second.
You had your own solo, but I don't know if you've been a part of a show podcast yet. Okay, gotcha. And your name is?
Nichole Braswell.
All right. We have an excellent show for you here today. So let's talk about this show. This is actually a sequel to a play they did several years ago. And what was the name of that first one, Stephanie?
In 2018, it was the Charitable Sisterhood of the Second Trinity Victory Church.
Very good.
I have to close my eyes to be able to say it all in one go.
Yes. Whenever we mention it, it has been mentioned a time or two on the podcast before, and every time I mention it, I'm like the one Charitable Sisterhood with the
Traveling pants.
Yeah, the traveling pants. Yeah. So you actually listen. That's funny. I did say traveling pants. All right. So that first one was about a group of 5 ladies, and they were in a basement, and it was a hurricane going on, and one of them's an imposter. And one of them is like an undercover agent. Am I getting the gist of it right?
That's the gist of it, basically.
Yes. So we have the sequel play, which takes place at Christmas. Now, who are the returning characters?
Nancy, Nichole, and Theressa.
So you guys play the same exact characters.
We actually are this time, yes.
Okay, and there was one other character that was recast, and then who are the new characters?
That would be me. That's Lucille.
She's the only new character.
Oh, yes.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about the plot of the play.
So it's 6 months later. It's December of the same year, 1977. The ladies are gathering together to try and put on their yearly production of the Christmas Spectacular. And a caper takes place, and they wind up calling in their honorary member, Janet Murchison, private investigator, to sort out the mystery that has befallen these ladies.
So, this caper, as it were, someone has stolen something. Is it a spoiler to say they stole the baby Jesus?
No.
No.
Okay. I thought I read that somewhere.
Right out of the manger.
So yes, the item in question that is stolen is the beloved baby Jesus from their manger, which Honestly, every Christmas happens more than you think. It actually happens a lot. I saw on Amazon they have these special locks for baby Jesuses now to keep them bolted down so people won't steal them from the manger. I don't know, teenagers.
But what do you put the lock through?
Just put it right through his head there. It'll stay. Yeah, it'll stay real good there. Even though it's still that baby Jesus, it's locked down tight.
In the first play, Janet was a bounty hunter, so working for hire, and in the sequel, she has opened her own PI investigation agency.
Well, when I think bounty hunter, I definitely think about Nichole. You fit the mold perfectly for that. Now, why did she actually have like an arc in this one? Why did she open up the private investigator firm? Did she just love these women and want to stay here, or what?
Oh, no, she's not here. They had to call her in. When everything goes amok, then they're like,
So
we got to bring in Janet, I guess.
She like the Columbo of this little girl.
Yes.
All right. So let's go wreck around and remind us of these characters and these women about their rapport and all that. Someone has stolen the baby Jesus. I'm sure they react negatively towards that. What's your function in this story, Nancy?
I am Lorraine. What's my last name?
Jensen.
I am Lorraine Jensen, and I am best friend to B. Littleton, and I in a lot of this, I'm a voice of reason and a little comic relief, and I get to say a lot of good snarky things.
So you get a lot of good jokes, is what you're saying?
Well, I try. Yeah, B has some major reactions to the baby Jesus being missing, and I'm just there to kind of help the story along.
So Theressa, remind us of your character.
B. Littleton is the leader of the Sisterhood. She is always in charge. She knows how everything needs to be done, and she'll let you do it your way, but then she'll come back and have you do it her way. She is very upset with the stolen baby Jesus. Thing about this character, I thought she learned her lesson the last play, but apparently she doesn't. She never learns her lesson. But she is fun to play, and Lorraine is her best friend, and we get to meet her arch nemesis, Lucille, who is the widow who was to the pastor of the First Salvation Church, and they are mortal enemies.
Like a rival church in the area?
Rival church in the area.
B is the pastor's wife as well.
So basically, she controls that church in and out.
Right. So you hold a level of power in the church hierarchy, as it were. Let's talk about the new characters. Sheila, tell us about your character. Are you the bad guy?
No, actually, I'm more the victim.
Uh-huh.
So I come into this again with my self-righteous indignation of all things that B prescribes to in her church, and what she believes in giving to the community in terms of this Christmas spectacular, and unfortunately get caught in the crosshairs of B's desires to turn around and make things as flamboyant as possible.
Fair enough. I like it. Interesting. All right, Emily. I'm glad to have you on the podcast because I just worked with your 2 shows ago. I worked with your sister Maddie in Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and I'm so happy to see you get cast here in this, so you can actually have the Neuse Little Theater experience. So tell us a little bit about your character in this play.
Yeah, so I play Tina Yates, and she's one of the newer members of the Sisterhood. She kind of just follows what B says, and she does what she's told and stays in line, but she does come across as blunt sometimes and makes jokes here and there.
Tell us a bit about your experience here at Neuse Little Theater for the first time.
I've loved it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, I've heard stories from Maddie. Good stories, I will say.
No, tell us what stories you've heard from Maddie.
Oh my gosh, no. Well, one time. No, she's had a really, really great time here, so being able to audition and be in this show has been a really great experience, and all of these ladies are absolutely wonderful to work with, so I've just been having a lot of fun.
You got a good group here. You got some stalwart actresses in this group. So this is a good first show for you. So, what has it been like from your ladies' perspective? I know you've been in a couple of Stephanie's shows before. Has the process been the same, or has it been any different this time around?
Well, for me, Stephanie is always planning well ahead, has everything mapped out on a chart, in a graph, drawn out. So she's always come to the process very, very prepared. I wish I could say the same for myself, because we are all in the throes of learning those last lines right now.
Gotcha.
This is my favorite part of doing theater, is the rehearsals, the character development, the blocking, writing in my script and highlighting my lines. And, this is my favorite part. Sure, the applause and the spotlight and the audience is an awesome climax to the whole thing, but this process right here, the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday nights, are my favorite part of doing a show.
And I want to add, no offense to any show I've ever been in, but I'm going to say this process has been the most fun with all y'all, because we're just getting along so well. All of us, it's just a good time. Sometimes it's we laugh too much. We're okay, bring it in. Let's actually get through this. But it's been fun, and I feel all the personalities meshing and happy friendship type of vibe. It's been really good. The show is about friendship and loving each other and sisterhood, but it's also good casting, Stephanie, because it's been just so much fun. It hasn't been dreadful at all in any sense. No dread outside of I gotta get those lines down, but just interacting, it's I've been looking forward to coming to rehearsal just to kind of it's hanging out with the job.
So, Sheila, you are new here to NLT as well, and I don't want to forget to add your perspective on that. So, how did you get here? How did you get here to NLT? How did you walk through our doors?
So I had a friend that introduced me to NLT. I got to see the summer program, which was, I can't even remember. Frozen. Yep. And then had the wonderful opportunity to be able to make props and help volunteer for Willy Wonka. And it was at that show that Mita actually talked about this one coming up, and I went, I could give that a try. And everybody had been so warm and so welcoming, just letting me walk through those doors, like you said, and from a volunteering perspective. And Stephanie's just been incredible with her guidance and her suggestions and recommendations, and everybody with their support has been beyond anything I've experienced in a really long time. And moving here, out of state, being brand new, not really having any friends, I couldn't ask for a better group of people to meet and kind of get settled in with.
Well, that's good. That's what we are known for here at NLT, always welcoming to new people, always willing to give new people a shot. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you're someone who wants to be on stage, it might not be the right place for you at that moment, but if you hang around long enough and audition long enough, you will end up on the stage. It's just something that happens here. Whether you're any good or not sometimes. But we'll give everybody a shot. No one bats 1,000.
There's a place for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's people here who are deathly afraid of acting or deathly afraid of auditioning and who've ended up backstage and have truly blossomed. And believe me, we need that. We need people that'll help backstage. And if you are on the fence about it and you are somehow listening to this podcast yet never seen an NLT show, that's very interesting to me. But if you are, please come by and audition or volunteer for a show. You got to say it on mic if you're going to say it.
No, I was going to say it's that one guy in Sri Lanka that keeps showing up on our statistics. It's who's that guy?
We have a listener in Sri Lanka.
Shout out.
Shout out to our listener in Sri Lanka, man.
We're international.
We appreciate it. And
yes.
Please tell me how that happened. Just clicking one night, let's see
I
this.
was trying to find someone to give that $1 billion to.
Well, there's people at my job that subscribe to it. I literally take their phones and I subscribe to it on their phone. And so I don't ever know if they listen or not. You guys have about 2-ish weeks left before you guys go up. And it goes up November 10th on Friday. And there'll also be a preview night November 9th. But are you guys looking forward to presenting this play to the audience? Are you guys ready for an audience? Are you laughing because I'm what if they say no? I'm not ready?
Would anybody actually say no?
I know. Would they admit the truth? Yeah.
What I want to be sure that our audience knows is that it is, billed as a Christmas spectacular.
What better time to celebrate Christmas than Veterans Day?
Well, that aside, this is a play within a play.
So is it like the first act is all set up and then the second act is the play?
Yes, the first act is all getting things ready and the countdown and then some snafus that are happening with the different acts and whatnot. And then Act 2 is the play. And within Act 2, you have onstage scenes and backstage scenes. But it's all during the spectacular.
Do you use the entire stage during those backstage scenes, or you just relegate it to the main stage? Or do you use the entire space?
No spoilers. No spoilers. Okay, you can't.
What? Is that spoiling something? That somebody comes from the back, I guess?
You will get to see things from the backstage perspective on stage, as well as different scene changes. We're using a new technique, but an ancient technique. It's new to Neuse Little Theater. We've used it a little bit, but I have stepped it forward more. It's the ancient teriactoids from Greek theater, and so I have brought those forward, and we're using those to do our scene changes.
Okay, all right, interesting. Now, I guess I'm going to look out for that because.
And look up that word.
What are you talking about? I didn't know that word. Now, what accent? So, Nichole, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this time around what accent you use, because I'm going to be on the lookout for it. If you screw up,
I have no accent this play, thank goodness.
Tell them what happened.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, the newbies don't know this one. So in the first play, Janet comes out, when she walks in, and she's got this. It was supposed to be like this Southern Belle accent. Like she's from, where was she supposed to be?
Atlanta or
Mississippi or Savannah or something. So like deep Southern accent, right? And as you can hear, I do not have an accent. I do not have a Southern accent. Unless you talk to my family up north, then they think I do, but whatever. So I've been working on this accent, but then like in the first play, she has a Southern accent, and then when she reveals I'm actually undercover, I go back to Nichole's voice. So working on it. We have the show, and I'm standing in line. I think I was standing next to Theressa, and I was like feeling like I did a really good job. I was like, I nailed it. Well, Matt, who I love because he will always give you honest opinion. And it's never with, it's always an honest opinion. And he comes up, doing the line, we shaking hands, and he's like, great job. I was like, thank you. He goes, when you came out with that terrible Southern accent, I was so disappointed. But then you revealed that you're a PI. And that would make sense why your Southern accent was so terrible. That was brilliant. And I was like, thank you, Matt. I think I like to. I was like, I thought I did a really good job today, but okay. So my Southern accent, it was totally on purpose. So since then, I'm like, I can't do accents. I'm just known for it. I'd actually tried to stand in for somebody once during, I was the transcriber, whatever, during, what was it? It was witness for the prosecution. One person wasn't there. She had one line. I tried to do it in this British accent, and Mita is just laughing her butt off. And I was like, what? Was it bad? Then she does, like, the best Scarlett O'Hara. So apparently if I'm British, I can be Southern. But if I try to be Southern, I don't know, I'm Russian or something. I was like, I don't know. So no accents.
Well, Southern accents and British accents are very, very close cousins. They are. That's why English actors can do American accents so well. That happened. That's a true story. I'm much more reserved on my comments now.
Matt, do you also ask women when their babies are due?
Hey, are you pregnant? When are you due? Hey. That's not the first time. That's not the first time I put my foot in my mouth. But I'm much better about it these days.
I wasn't mad or offended.
No, you weren't.
I knew where you were coming from. And plus you thought I did a good job. So I mean, okay, cool, I'll take the compliment.
Yeah.
Just always own it. just own it. I own it.
And honestly, I'll keep it in. Who gives a shit what I think?
Well, honestly, I'll see like a play and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. And then it's like needs accent. I'm like, well, forget that.
Yes. I sometimes gave my unsolicited opinion on things, but since I have since learned through maturing and growth as a human being that's not always a good idea. Sometimes it's just better to say great job and move on. But that doesn't mean I can't eventually reveal it in private. But I do apologize for that. That was insensitive. So I would not do that today. So if you suck, I'll never tell you. but no, I've seen you grow as an actress. All of you, except for Sheila and Emily. I haven't. You guys haven't grown at all. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen you in a play, so I can't attest to your acting skills. But I trust Stephanie's opinion, so I'm sure they're very good. But Nancy, Theressa, and Nichole, you've all grown as actresses over the years, and Stephanie has grown as a director, and so it's really nice to see that all kind of accumulate on stage in this production. Now, so we're going to go over the dates one more time. It's going to be November 10th, that's a Friday, November 11th, that's a Saturday, so those are 8 o'clock shows, and then they have November 12th, which is a Sunday, that's 3 p.m., and then we jump to the next week, which is November 17th, that's on a Friday at 8, and November 18th, that's also on a Saturday at 8.
I also have it on authority that the Sunday matinee is almost totally reserved. So if you want to see the Sunday matinee, you might not have very much of a chance. We have 97 reservations for that day right now.
Congratulations.
No, I was going to say, completely unrelated to our show except the dates. The Fall Festival downtown is the 11th during the day, and the wine walk is on the 17th.
There is not to be any of the actors doing the wine walk.
But why?
That's not fair. I was pregnant last time. I didn't get to do it.
We'll do a wine walk for you by yourself.
Yes, you can walk around after the show is over.
Oh, there's a story.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a story of Savannah Sipping Society.
Well, I need to fill more time, so go ahead and tell it.
I don't know if we name names though.
No, of course not.
Actually, I think she's already named herself and told this story
is it
before.
Kathy? Because,
Yes.
Oh, she has. She's named herself.
Kathy's told this story.
Oh, many times. Yeah. Kathy's told me this story many
She's
times.
proud of this story.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, it was the St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Theressa and I are stellar members there. She sings in the choir like it's her job, and I'm a Sunday school teacher. Our men's group, the Brotherhood of St. Andrew, does a wine tasting every year because we are Episcopalian. And
Are you guys known for your wine at this church?
yes, you can have wine during church. You don't have to hide it in your building in the back
really?
of your house. No. Okay. Anyway, so they were having it's a fundraiser. It's a wine tasting. You can order bottles of wine or a case or whatever, and it's a lovely event. And we thought it would be a great bonding experience. So the cast and Stephanie, we went to go see. It was Savannah Sipping Society, and
Which was a drinking play anyway.
right. We're sipping. So we sipped our way around the room, having all the samples, and I guess Kathy's a lightweight because we got back to the hut for rehearsal that night. It didn't happen.
She could not continue.
I was completely impressed. She hit her mark every single time. But when she got to that mark, she was... No words at all, but she got to her mark.
So her husband Rich was called, and he came and gave her a safe ride home. But it was pretty hilarious.
And Mary Lee ordered pizza for all of us.
Right.
So it was a very
some
good
bread in this
bonding
moment.
experience.
I feel like Emily and I are kind of missing out on this one, though. I'm a little disappointed.
Emily's got to wait a couple of years.
Yeah, Emily's 18, so.
Didn't she also win the big prize or something?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood does a big raffle at the end of the evening. It's a lovely basket with all kinds of bottles and glasses and just giftware and gift certificates. Blah,
Sausages
blah.
and cheese.
Yes. I think she bought one ticket.
So just from the back of the room, and the winner is Kathy Nixon. Wow! Woo! Basket.
So then here we come, toddling around the corner, walking down Front Street. And
Trash.
she's got her basket in her arms, you know,
Won't let
Very
anybody
pleased.
else carry it.
like a baby on her hip. Fun times. We were bonded. Let's just say we
Sure
were bonded.
did. Sure
Yeah.
bonded.
Obviously, because she's told that story to me several times.
All right.
Yes, Kathy Nixon is she's very talented, but she's also she's a very fun person to hang
Oh, yeah.
around with. All right, so last thoughts. Any last thoughts before we send it out into the internet world? Anything?
I just find the cast very unique, and we've got a wide age range here, you know, but we all still really connect. I know Stephanie was saying there were a couple of ladies who would have fit the age group more of the Tina character, but Emily auditioned at a much more mature level than some of the other ladies who tried to keep it younger maybe, and it's just a great fit all the way around for all five of us.
And so have you guys? This is an interesting idea. Have you guys noticed anything different? You did the play 5 years ago. What has kind of changed in the rehearsal process? As far I know, maybe perhaps those lines are a little bit harder to memorize.
that.
But other than that, has there been any kind of weird symmetries that you've seen or weird differences that you've seen in doing this play 5 years ago and then doing the sequel now?
They're just so different in storyline. I mean, some of the characters are there, but the storylines are so very different, even though they take place at the same church and in the same church basement. It's just a completely different look.
And also I think Sheila and Emily bring a very different energy to the process than we had on stage last time, and it just feels, I don't know, it feels more relaxed.
Closing it out. This one has been a rowdy one with these ladies, so I can't wait to get home and try to edit all of this footage together. It's going to be fun. But I am very much looking forward to seeing your show. I'll be here preview night, so y'all break a leg. I'm sure you'll get good crowds because of this just being a really popular show. And you also, from what I'm hearing with the Fall Festival thing, and what was the other thing? The Wine Walk. You guys will get some walk-ups, so that's really good too. So
Wine Walk night should be very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Is that
The audience will be like the sixth character.
Is that the 11th? What night is that?
That's the 17th.
Okay, that's
17th.
not my night. So you have a 2.5-hour wine walk.
That's a lot of walking.
That's a lot of drinking.
I was about to say, man.
I'm sorry, that's an awful lot
Maybe
of wine.
you won't
It
realize
doesn't
how much
matter.
you're walking.
Little sips each.
Little.
Oh.
I've
Yeah,
never
well,
been.
it was supposed to be little sips at the St. Paul's, and some of the pours were a little bit more.
Is this like a who can make it to the finish line type of thing?
Do you get different wine, or is it the
Yeah,
same?
It's different wine.
Oh wow! So you're like mixing all these
There's
wines.
reds and whites, dries and sweets.
Dries
That's
and
And, you have
fancy.
to, and then at the very end, before we cross the finish line, you have to chug a full Natty Light tall.
Sheila, I'll text you. We'll figure out what time we're meeting
Sounds
up. and
wonderful.
You're
sort
not
out,
doing
okay?
it.
And no, we're not.
As your elder, I'm
we're
forbidding
not.
it.
We're not.
All
We're
right,
not.
Mother Nancy says no.
Not.
So, okay.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not.
We're not.
Wink, wink.
Wink,
Okay.
You won't remember a single line that you're supposed to say.
I slapped the earring right off a girl that showed up. We had a show, and this girl had some cocktails before the show, and we are on stage during Act 1, Scene 1, and I realized how drunk she was, and I had a stage slap, and I had to slap her sober, and her earring flew into the second row.
Damn. Damn.
Mita, you remember?
I was not part of that show. I was part of the remake.
Oh,
We can't name the show.
I know we
I
can't.
don't think we can.
Okay, so don't wear earrings on
Is the moral of the story?
You can't see the look I'm giving her.
Audio format only. All right. I could have fun with these ladies all night, but they have got to get to rehearsal. It is now 7:01, so they need to get downstage and they need to start going over their show, and I need to get out of here. And so thank you, all you ladies, for coming up here an hour early on one of your rehearsal nights. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mita, for putting all this crap together. I know it's a job every single time. We've only got an AC up here. That's what you hear in the background, folks. And guess what? If you hear it, you're just going to have to live with it because it feels way too good for us to turn off right now.
Hey, Matt.
What?
I think we just want to say one thing as a parting shot.
Okay. A parting. Okay.
Yep. Merry
Christmas,
Christmas,
y'all, and to y'all a good night.
All right. I'm going to leave it there. For Neuse Little Podcast, I'm Matt Gore. Have a good evening. Credits for the show. Your host and creator is Matt Gore. That's me. My producer and editor is Mita Toole.
That's me.
Music is by Cody Walker. Please go look up Cody on Cody Walker Music on YouTube, and he's also on Cody Walker Music on Facebook as well. He's local, so and he's got a couple of albums out. Easy listening, John Denver type of guitar voice, that Cody Walker. All right, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.